Is it worth anything? Today we were talking about Breweriana, and I have trouble saying that word. It is basically anything having to do with beer and the brewing of beer. So let's go through some history to start. The German immigrants brought a lot of brewing technology to the United States. And in the 1800s was when commercial brewing kind of began. Prohibition nearly killed the brewing industry. Some companies survived by making what was called near beer, which was beer that had no alcoholic content to it. After Prohibition, new technologies like flat top cans came into being, and brightly colored signs and things like that. Then in the 50s and 70s, major national brands started to show up in beer. So through the 70s through the 90s, a lot of breweries, small breweries, closed. And then, of course, in the 1990s, craft brewing started and kind of brought a resurgence to everything. So what kind of things are covered under Breweriana? Okay, so anything having to do with beer. So it can be beer cans, beer labels, tap handles. It can be signs, clocks, trays, you name it. If it has to do with beer, it falls under that category. There are two organizations for collectors. There is the Brewery Collectible Club of America, which is the BCCA, that's bcca.com. There's also the American Breweriana Association. That's under americanbreweriana.org. That's the ABA. So, is it worth anything? Well, of the recently sold items on eBay, there was a tap handle for $150. There was a beer can that sold for $595. A label, just a label off a bottle, was $125. There was a sign for $95 and a tray for $26. So I can tell you that to find this stuff on eBay, there was not a lot of sold items. I know whenever I go to an antique shop, there are plenty of items that have to do with beer. So is it worth anything? Yeah, some of this stuff is still really worth big bucks. If you would like to learn more about what items in your home might fall into the category of antiques and collectibles and possibly be worth money, check out my book, Beginner's Guide to Antiques and Collectibles. It's available on Amazon.com for $24.95.